Let's find out why the little boy wore a sheet trick-or-treating. I can only imagine. All right, so we are on this page converting fractions into decimals and converting decimals back into fractions. Some of these are repeating decimals, and some of the fractions need to be reduced down to simplest form. So we get to encounter 4 different situations with converting fractions and decimals back and forth. And we're going to start on the first part. Let's look at numbers 4 and 5. They did all the math for us. In converting these fractions to these decimals, they already divided, they got the calculator, did the divisions, and they came up with an answer. As you can see, all of these are repeating decimals. What we've got to do is make sure that we can accurately show how to write that value. Looking at number 4, what exactly is it that's repeating? The 0 is not. The 4, I'm going to start here. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1. Nope. It's these 3 digits over and over again. Oops. 4, 1, 4. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 4. So it goes on this unit right here over and over again. So these are the 3 digits that are repeating. When we look over at our 2 options, this is the one that shows the pattern that we have repeating. There are 2 4s, one in the beginning and one in the end. So number 4 is U. Number 5, we've got, let's see, the 4 is, there's another 4, let's see, 4, 1, 5, 3, 8, 4, 6, 4, 1. No, that is not repeating. 1, 5, 3, 8, 4, 6, 1, 5, that's it. That's a big unit. 1, 5, let's see, 1, 5, 3, 8, 4, 6, 1, 5, 3, 8, 4, 6. Yes, that is what's repeating. So that's what we need to have under with lines over it. That one just assumes that this is all that's repeating and the 1 and 5 aren't. But you can see the 1 and the 5 are. So the answer to number 5 is S. Shall we look at the second part? We are converting these into mixed numbers. It says to write them in lowest terms. So if we can reduce them, we need to. We'll start with number 7. We have a negative. I'll start with a negative. And then 45 hundredths. We've got 2 digits after the decimal. So we're going to have 2 zeros. 45. So here is negative 45 hundredths. But as you can tell, number 1, there aren't any possibilities over here. And number 2, in case you hadn't already noticed, these can be reduced by 5. If I reduce it by 5, I get negative, remember the negative, 9 twentieths. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Negative 9 twentieths. Let's see if we have, oh, there it is, A. The answer to 7 is A. Let's move on to number 10. See, how many 3s do we have after the decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4 3s after the decimal. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. That's a big one. We have a whole number, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 3 3s. I mean 4 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 3,333 10,000ths. Yes. And I don't think that is reducible. No, it's definitely not reducible. And sure enough, there it is. Number 10 is W. Number 11, negative. Let's remember the negative. We've got 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal. So my denominator will have 1, 2, 3 zeros. 625, which, as you probably guessed, is reducible. I will reduce them both by 25. Let me think that 4 quarters are 25, 4 quarters make $100. If 4 quarters make $1, then 4 25s make 100. 600 would be 6 fours, because there's 4 in each 100, and 1 more, 25. So 625 divided by 25 is 25. Oh, 25 squared is 625. I just noticed that. 25 goes into 100 4 times, 0. So we've got 25/40ths. That answer still isn't over there, is it? We can reduce it again, but these numbers are smaller. I can do that in my head, so can you. We can reduce these by 5, which gives us 5/8. Negative 5/8. Right here, it's T. And on to the third part. In this section, we will write each fraction or mixed number as a repeating decimal. We are doing these 3 together. I can already tell this is our whole number 2, so that's going to be whole. Go ahead and do that. Now, with my calculator, I'll do 5 divided by 12, and you are welcome to use a calculator as well. 5 divided by 12 is 416666666. So it's evident that the 6 is our repeating digit. 2, 4, 1, 6. The line goes over just the 6. And there it is, E. You probably all found it before I did, and we're waiting for me to find it. Okay, number 15, another 2 wholes, 7 divided by 11. So let's do that. 7 divided by 11. 0.6363636363. So we have 6, 3, both repeating. And we look over here, that is A. 15 is A. 17, we've got no whole number, so we'll go straight to division. 17 divided by 24. 0.708333333. Let's write this down. 0.7083 a million times. Over here, that is S. On to the bottom part. The last ones we'll do together. It says write as a decimal. If it's a repeating decimal, round to the nearest hundredth. Now, the opposite of repeat is terminal. So a terminal decimal is one that's not repeating. Most often they are terminal. That means they have an end. When we find terminal decimals, we will not round. We won't need to. I look at these and automatically one of these 4 we're doing is a very significant number. If you don't recognize that number, you will. It's in fraction form, and most of the time you see that number, it's decimal form. So it might not look familiar yet, but this is a number you will see many, many more times in the future. when we convert the fraction to a decimal, I assure you, you'll know what the number is. All right, convert to a decimal. So 5 2/3. 5 is my whole number. 2/3. 2 divided by 3 is 0.66666666. So I'm just gonna write a bunch of sixes. Since it says to round to the nearest hundredth, this is where I'll stop. This digit tells me if I round up or down. 6 rounds up. So my final answer is 5.67. So number 18 is 5.67. And over here, here is E. 18 is E. I'll write it back here. 20. Well, no, it's 19. 19 is negative. We've got a whole number that's 8. Now for the decimal part. 9 divided by 16. That is not repeating. So that one is terminal. So we don't have to do any rounding. This is all we do. And let's see. 19 is T. We still haven't come to that significant number yet. Okay, on to number 20. 22 divided by 7. We get 3.1428571. Rounding to the nearest hundredth. This 2 tells us if we round up or down. And if you recognize this number, you would know that it rounds down because pi is 3.14. That is pi. This is pi in fraction form. I had one student who loved fractions. When he was doing, he was getting into pre-algebra and algebra, he would opt to use it in fraction form. Anytime he would see 3.14, he would just rewrite it as 22/7 because that was his preference. And it didn't interfere with his answers. He got everything right because it's the same. He just got to use fractions because he loved fractions. I've never known anyone else that way who had that preference, but I thought that was fascinating. So back to 20, 3.14. Right here, A. 20 is A. And finally, 25. 65 divided by 8. Negative 65 divided by 8. That's significant. 65 divided by 8. This one's terminal too. 8.125. No rounding for us on this one. Negative 8.125. Right up here, M. 25 is M.